us Dr. Fozia, who is a climate change and environment expert. Dr. Fozia is an assistant professor at Aga Khan University Institute for Educational Development. Prior to joining AKUIED, she worked as a postdoctoral fellow and an adjunct faculty at the Center for Water, Informatics and Technology, Lahore, University of Management Sciences since July 2019. At WIT, her major area of research was microplastic pollution in water bodies. Dr. Fozia holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Environmental Science from Fatma Jinnah Women's University, Rawalpindi, a Master's of Science degree in Environmental Science from the National University of Science and Technology, and a DPhil from University of Oxford in Engineering Science, Sustainable Water Treatment. Her research has focused on water and wastewater treatment and microplastic pollution in Pakistan. She has been an active part of phasing out single-use plastic campaigns. As an environmental scientist, she is passionate about incorporating environmental education into curricula right from K to 12 level. She recently finished a module titled Climate Change and Environmental Sustainability that will be published on the IED website soon. Dr. Parveen believes that her sensitivity towards the natural environment and life in it emerges from her real-life experiences in the north of Pakistan. She believes that there is a strong need to build communities of change for a sustainable planet. She believes in active community engagement and speaks regularly through invited platforms.
Invitation, and thanks to Farah. I actually only commented on one of the books, so I wouldn't take the credit for all three, but जो smog से related था उसपे मैंने काफी गौर से उसको देखा था और उस पर comment किया था. Personally, of course, I loved it. It's also very heartening to see that there are more than one actors who are producing content in this. And as was mentioned in my introduction, I just finished a set of 2 booklets. One is an information booklet and another is a ready-made activities for parents, teachers, students to learn climate change and sustainability related issues. And that, inshallah, will be launched end of this month, and it will be a free resource and it will be uploaded online on ID's resources. So I guess the most positive thing, Bella ji and everybody in the panel, is that we actually are, we're not just here to be Mahol, Sahelian, or friends of the environment. We actually, all of us are operating in whatever little we could do in the sphere of education. You know, if someone's taken it from the fiction point of view, another has taken it from the illustration point of view, some have tried to highlight heroes. Funnily enough, all the books have highlighted heroes, and it's incredible to see that even our book tried to highlight the relatively older people who've dedicated their lives for not being acknowledged as much as, let's say, the younger generation that has access to the internet and is more vocal and is more present in the social spaces. Jahan tak using these resources in creating awareness and in actually taking it to the ground, because I think getting done with the content, creating the content, and I'm sure that there's a lot that still needs to be discussed in terms of the wide curricula and what are we missing and where should this be taken and who should be teaching it, because I think one of the important things for me as a teacher also is that whoever is teaching it also has to understand what they're teaching. So of course, like simpler text that communicates this in the form of fiction is very important. I saw in the content that there were a lot of basic definitions embedded into the story. So let's say one student is asking, but what does smog actually mean? Then, you know, one is asking what the GHG, like the greenhouse gases are. And so the definitions are embedded into the stories, which is great. But in terms of propagation, I think we have to, as educators, be careful. What IED is doing, I think IED has taken the first step by, for example, hiring people like me to properly educate the teachers on environmental education. Even if they're maths teachers, even if they're science teachers, even if they're teaching social studies, they can take my courses as an elective and actually understand some of the basic things. So, of course, IED cannot go to each school, but through these faculty, through these future teachers, these teachers who go and practice, we are trying to approach as many students as possible. And I think that is the aim of all of us. What can happen is, like you said, making sure that all of this content is in one place. This story is present in the IED library. So when I'm teaching my course and I'm using my content and my activities and my booklet, I also make sure that this is one of the reading materials. So let's say in one of the lectures regarding use of fiction, use of films, videos, documentaries, or literature, we make sure that these resources are a part of that pedagogy curricula, however you want to share it. So I think creating synergies, making sure that the content is shared. So I share my content with you, you look at it, and aap koshish karein ki you build on it instead of everyone doing the same thing. I think the one thing with things becoming fashionable is that everyone does the same thing, and the impact is always very, very thin. It could do us a great favor if we actually become like friends of climate, friends of environment, and share content, share knowledge, create a common pool, make sure that we're utilizing each other's content, and wherever possible, improve it, build on it, bring it to that level. But I think one thing that I would really like to mention here, Belaji, is how we are communicating this to the future generation. So I'm sure that, like Maria said, how she's tried to make sure that it's a hopeful story, it's a fun story, it's also like a story of adventure. I do think oftentimes, by telling these younger generations what is the planet going through, and of course for them to witness a lot of it, a lot of climate anxiousness and anxiety is building up. A lot of kids do not have hope. Even people who are around me tell me, like, what's the point in doing this? This is going to happen anyway. We're going to suffer anyway. Everything's coming to an end anyway. And I think we also have to fight that mindset as well. And we have to make sure that the future generations that we build, we give them hope. It's not just you become the future responsible citizen. It's also, we're all in this together. Us, people older than us, and you. Let's just come together and make sure that we do not go past this tipping point. Thank you again.